Okay, so this is another game I learned this past month, and it was also, I think, the only arcade game I really spent any time with. Admittedly, this is actually a game that I didn't think I was going to take to, but the more I played it, the more I enjoyed learning about it, and I guess when it comes to making sure you can challenge yourself, that's really all that's required. And yeah, this game is incredibly difficult, but it's also really fun. For those unaware, this is Haunted Castle, referred to in some circles as Castlevania Arcade, and while that is apt, it's not entirely accurate because while it does play Castlevania and feel similar to Castlevania, the level design is completely different. So you're not getting like the CV1 experience in the arcades. That's not how it works. If you want that, you play versus Castlevania. So this game has some notorious difficulty to it. There are actually 3 different versions of the game. There's the Japanese version, which is the easiest. Both versions, what's called version K and version P. Sorry, not version N and version P. Then version K is the European version, which is the one I'm going to be playing today, because it's a bit more marathon safe than the US version, which is version M. Version M is the one that a lot of people link their memories to with this game, and it's easy to see why. Version M is incredibly absurd. Like, there's just so much damage that enemies are able to do to you in the very first stage of the game that just doesn't seem realistic. But for K version, we're going to be able to get a bit more fairness out of it, and really, I think at this point, it's just going to come down to routing, because the hardest thing to me about this game is the fact that there are things that you have to do that are just so meticulous and such sequence in such a specific order that if you miss a cue or miss an input at a certain point, you have the potential to lose the run. And that's something I'm going to be in constant fear of for pretty much this entire run. I may actually take a death and abandon the 1cc if things go really wrong at some point. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that this game is 1 life per credit, so gotta get good. So we're going to be playing as Simon Belmont. He looks a little bit different here. He's got those thick thighs along with some swag blue hair, which I'm actually a fan of. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Pop our... Oh, it turned off my coin switch. What a weird thing to specifically turn off. Hang on one second. I don't know what this thing's doing, but it's acting strange. Alright, apparently I need to restart the game. Give me one moment. I forgot that I plugged in the controller after I turned on MAME, so I just need to do a quick reset. Sorry about that, though. Appreciate everybody's patience. I don't know why that has cursor capture turned on, but I'm going to fix that. That looks gross. And there we go. Okie doke. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I do need to go ahead and make this change here. I'm using a PS4 arcade stick that has a built-in touchpad, but I use that for credits. Let's check the volume then. I mean, the master volume is pretty low already, but I'll drop it a little bit more. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and start up. I'll actually let the opening cutscene play out because time doesn't start until control of character. I don't know how a wedding ever plays in the Castlevania lore, but they did that for this game, I guess. They wanted to make it more ghouls and ghosts, apparently. Anyway, he's gonna start us off. First thing you'll notice is we have Whip. Whip is useful, but we'll have better later. Whip at this point is more necessary than good. Also, this game is full of hot jams, so feel free to enjoy the music while your party is reached. I'm gonna wait for that to collapse. That thing has a really long active hitbox, and I just don't want to walk through it. We are gonna be using some speed strats today, but not all speed strats. Like, there are definitely some instances where I prefer to stay safe. Go ahead and snag this. For the crumbling wall, all we have to do is make sure we deflect the blocks by just hitting them. Pretty simple stuff. Pretty strange thing to have so early in the game, but I guess they really wanted to try to tease players off. A bit more walking. Here we're going to have some platforming. So see, a couple things to advise about this game. You have no health ups in this game, as in you can't get wall meets or anything similar. But what you can do is, at the end of a stage, the game will actually take away hearts from your inventory to refill your health. So if I end the stage with like 2 less health than max, then it's going to sacrifice 2 of my hearts to give me that health back. Pretty specific sequence I have to do there to be able to get what I need. Any sub-weapon you pick up in this game gives you 5 hearts as well as a sub-weapon, so very, very useful to have. The bombs are the only sub-weapon you get in the first stage. They're not incredibly useful, but they are required for our first boss. Here we can stand here as just a trick. Kill these bats as they come in. They're not going to hit us. We can stand here and just whip them as we need to. So we have Medusa. Got the stun lock there, that's good. Perfect fight. The timing of that bomb throw is actually really important. It's certainly not frame perfect or anything, but you want to make sure you catch her within that pixel range with your first bomb, because if you don't, then she can still move, and that makes the fight a lot more frustrating. What am I doing? Yeah, I didn't want to get hit by that. I pressed the wrong button, though. Oh, we still have a good amount of hearts, so I'm not, like, super worried about it, but it's still annoying. Those skeletons that summon ghosts are kind of the worst. That. Got our second sub-weapon, which we won't be using at all, that being the boomerang. This is our first melee upgrade, it's the Morning Star. It's pretty good. It's definitely an upgrade from Whip. I believe it does maybe like 33% more damage. Kill these mermen. This is a damage boost we can take, but I prefer not to. Like I said, I'd rather keep the health. Health management is incredibly important for once you see in this game. Great, you can once you see it while also doing a speed run, because you know you have to, it's required, but I prefer to just be on the safe side because I actually want to finish this game. Wait things out a little bit. This is where screen scrolling becomes a really big deal. I've never found a way to get that 5 hearts, so it's whatever. God, this music's so good. So yeah, if we try to scroll the screen too early in any given instance, we run the risk of essentially running the game off screen, and then we can't reach a certain platform. But the game can actually lock us in place on things like jumps, which is the worst. Work our way up here, kill this bat. And here we have the item that makes the game what it is. Stopwatch in this game is completely busted. It's essentially what completely breaks the run. In fact, I used it back there to prevent a group of bats from spawning at the top of the cave. There's something like 10 or 11 bats there, and if you stopwatch, they just don't appear. So nice little piece of abuse there. These mudmen, we're just gonna make these jumps. Nice red sky visual, too. This path here is pretty predetermined. I would love to find a way to be able to jump there, but that bat always being in my way just kind of makes me skittish to do it, so I'm just like, nah, we're not going to. Jump on down. I didn't want to do that second jump, but that's okay. We're safe. Only things to worry about up here when you're taking top route are the 2 mermen that are going to spawn. Everything else is pretty inconsequential. So just make sure you always hit the top. If you go to the bottom, you're going to have some problems. Those skeletons are an issue, bats are an issue. Like, just don't let it happen. Okay, no elbow drop there, that's fine. So here we have another good indicator of how busted stopwatch is. We're going to spawn this bone dragon, activate stopwatch, throw out 10 melee hits, and he's out of here. Cool thing about sub-weapons in this game, when you use a sub-weapon, you get a melee strike along with it, so every sub-weapon uses a 2-for-1. So when you start the stopwatch with a bone dragon right in front of your sprite, it initiates the first hit for free, which is really, really cool. Okay, so stage 3. Here we're going to have a lot to do, while also listening to bloody tears. So feel free to enjoy that. These gremlins, fleamen, whatever you want to call them, some of my least favorite enemies in the game. We're actually going to take an intentional damage boost there, because I'd rather just walk through that. Another stopwatch glitch coming up. This is one of the most important in the game, I feel. So we jump, we use stopwatch, it transports us to this portal where we have to fight 3 harpies, but because stopwatch is still active, we don't have to fight them, and that's amazing. Coming out of the gate, we're going to go ahead and use stopwatch again. This prevents a gremlin from spawning on the other side of the chandelier, and delays the drop of the chandelier so we don't take a hit. Also, someone remind me, what's the name of this song again? I can't remember. We're gonna let this cutlery attack us. I'm gonna take a damage boost here, use the stopwatch, jump the stairs. One more stopwatch use here. Here we have these eyes. Do a quick stopwatch there so they don't spawn. It's gonna spawn a little bit late, but it's okay because we can get away from it now. One more gremlin here. Alright, Alright, this is actually the hardest part of the stage. These gremlins here, I want to hit them one time. Didn't work. Okay, so I'm going to wait this out. So we got our final melee upgrade, the sword. Sword's really good, but the reason I didn't keep moving is because I didn't want to collect the boomerang. We need to have stopwatch here for this boss fight. You can't do that fight as efficiently without being able to use stopwatch. Like, that has killed so many of my runs, accidentally picking up the boomerang there, so we don't want any part of that. Alright, stage 4 has easily my favorite music track in the game. I love Den of Worship so damn much. It's so good. Elevator way down. Work our way over here. I'm gonna try and jump this. Okay, cool. Sometimes I miss that jump, and it's kind of frustrating, but we got it that time. It's fast, it's efficient, doesn't drain time, doesn't force you to pick up sub-weapons you don't want to. So without the sword, mummies are actually really annoying. They take a lot of hits, but sword being as strong as it is means we can kill them in 2 hits. And I always go for crouch hits because their first projectile almost always goes low. That's unfortunate. Okay, that was cool. Good duck. Quick pair of eyes. We're gonna let this one roll past us, just as a form of an if. And then for this one, we're just gonna kill it before it can touch us. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that heart. That happens sometimes. If that bat spawns from the left, you're probably not getting the heart that the mummy drops. We're still gonna have a good amount of hearts going through this stage. Oh, that might be too low. A little scared all of a sudden. Okay, cool, we got there. That was a really low bridge there. A couple gremlins here. Move. I'm actually gonna go get this. I have a raven here that I'd like to be able to nip over here. Not quite soon enough. There we go. We're definitely not picking up that bomb. Still need stopwatch, at least to the end of stage 5. We kill this gremlin because he drops a 5-er. Take that. So for fast as possible, it looks like it's not going to happen. I'm going to work my way down here. Actually, yeah, it might happen. Kill that mummy, hope the boomerang goes to the top. Okay, we don't have to worry about it now. We don't have to like wait it out or anything. If you have to wait it out, then a bat control you, and that's never good. I didn't want that to happen. Okay. Come here, you. This is version K. The quote-unquote easier US version. Okay, on our way to our boss. This is by far the worst boss in the game. Like, hands down. This guy can just RNG you out of great time, essentially just because he wants to. Let's just say there's a reason why he's colored the way that he is, and that should tell you exactly what I think of this guy. This guy's kind of a jerk. He can... Essentially what he's going to do in most cases, he's just going to hang back and just zone us with these... I mean, I call them fireballs almost by proxy, but... Be able to get in. Stopwatch is incredibly necessary here. Still a good fight. I'm surprised he came that far in. So normally what he'll do is he'll just hang out at the back and just throw fists at us. And that gets really frustrating really quickly. Still, good fight all around. We'll move on to stage 5. Quick elevator segment. This one's kind of challenging. There's a way to do it hitless, but I haven't properly learned it, but I actually have a way to do it where I only get hit once, which is what I'm going to go for here. Take that hit. This is also the stage where stopwatch is going to be the most overly abused. We used it right there to prevent a bunch of enemies from spawning over here, because if we didn't use it, we'd actually have a suit of armor down here to fight, as well as ravens on every single perch here, whereas here we only have this one. I'm just going to take him out. Walk up to this gremlin, do what we need to do to him. Another quick use of stopwatch when we jump over this coffin. I'd rather not deal with him. I am going to kill this one, though. Stopwatch again. This prevents some more enemies from spawning at the top, including more suits of armor. I did not want to see a flaming skull. That's not good. Use it there to prevent some more enemies from spawning. We're almost to the top floor. No, go away. Really? There we go. I'm not going to get that. Which is going to cause more problems if I do. Walk past this mummy. Now to our final sub-weapon. Here we have the skeleton who's carrying a cross. Cross is... It's certainly not as useful overall as stopwatch, but for the final 2 boss fights, it's pretty much required. Past this guy. I did not want that to happen. I'm actually going to take care of him before I spawn the boss. Flaming skulls are the worst. Their movement is just so erratic and silly. Alright, so for Frank, I'm going to move all the way back here. Start off by firing some crosses. Got hit a couple times there, which I didn't love, but I think we should be okay. Yeah, if you spam cross, he just gets taken out in no time flat. Really, really useful. Okay, last stage. This stage really only comes down to 2 sequences. First, we have the bridge. Another banger alert. So there's a couple different things you can do here. This, to me, is just the easiest strat. It's the one I always use. We're going to wait for bats to spawn in front of us, and then we're going to kill them. And I tend to do this until we get our second 5-piece. We haven't even gotten the first one yet, so we'll know when it's time. As you can see, the bridge collapse is chasing us. So we want to make sure we can get away from that. So that's our first 5er. We're almost there. Like I said, feel free to enjoy the music, because this lasts like 2 minutes. This is a really long segment. For reasons that I'll just never fathom. Take this. Wait until the next 5er. I think the next one drops the 5-piece. But I think I changed my mind. This thing, well actually, yeah, I kind of don't really trust it at this point. So from here, I'm actually not going to get the other 5er. We're just going to take damage boosts. After I kill that guy, this is normally what I would do, so we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm just going to take 1 more damage. Bats thankfully only take 1 hit point off in version K. So we're not in a bad spot here. We're just going to boost all the way to the end from here. If I tried killing more, there's a chance I might fall, and we don't want that. So that ends the credit, and we look silly, and I'd rather just try to beat it the best way possible. Alright, now that we're past the bridge, all that's left is the Dracula fight, and this is probably the easiest Dracula fight in any Castlevania game, but that being said, he can troll us to cause us to lose time, so I'm hoping he doesn't do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over here, let him spawn, throw some crosses. Yeah, he got the teleport, that's unfortunate for us. So this is definitely not what you want, but it can happen. Weird thing about this fight, you actually can't fire crosses at him unless he fires first. Because then he just teleports away on reaction. So that'll take us to our second form. We'll spam some more crosses at him. And that's time. That is a 1 loop, 1 CC of version K of Haunted Castle. You get to see the thing sink. Really cool ending sequence, but it just takes us right back into the game. Oh, thank you so much for the GGs, everybody. This game is so good. Like, I very much love this game. I feel like any Castlevania fan who's never really attempted it before should give it a try. It is very, very hard, but I think also well worth the time to learn. Just because, for me, like, you know me, I enjoy really busted stuff, and Stopwatch, like, is what got me to want to continue playing this game. Stopwatch is just insane. But the game is also really good. The music is all incredible. The gameplay is stilted, but it's classic Castlevania. It's you get what you get, you know? Okay, looks like that's going to do it for me for this morning, but I will be back a little bit later this afternoon after the Death Smiles tournament with Twisted Metal 2. Up next, we've got a start of a pinball block, which looks to be beginning off with some Demon's Tilt. So we're going to go ahead and take it off to our hosts here in just a moment, and I will catch you all a bit later. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great rest of the marathon.